use of the kitchen, if we approve, say we approve 10 units in the hotel or 5 or whatever in the hotel part, there should be enough kitchen facilities for the people that are in there before they move in there.
I wasn't planning to move anybody in until the construction was
Okay.
complete.
Yep.
So we have Corey White slated to begin as soon as we have closing. The materials is already there, so he is paid and ready to get going as soon as the keys are in our hand.
Okay,
And then he's told me it's gonna be 3 to 4 weeks for him to complete the work that he needs to get done, and that was well before I had anticipated anybody moving in.
okay,
So the construction should be done before we have residents in the motel side of the building. And then I'm hoping in that time that we can make some real progress with the septic.
okay.
So I guess that you guys aren't looking for approval or a temporary approval for the hotels at all then? Is that right, for the
Well,
hotel
we
section?
would hope that it would be granted up to us as soon as this work was completed,
Oh,
right?
right.
You know our
Oh, yeah, of
plans.
course, yeah.
You know, everything is.
So, I guess you're not
We can't
looking,
Jump ahead until we own it, so.
right, I just wanted, because I kind of came about it from a standpoint, if the maximum allowed for 10 units or whatever, would you occupy those? But it sounds like you wouldn't even move forward with that until everything is done.
I don't want to take any chances of.
Yeah.
So the saying,
Okay, that
people saying, I
changes
can't do my dinner. So it's
Yeah, I'm
like,
fine
yeah,
with that.
I had planned to
Yeah, I'm
wait.
good with that.
But because of the timing of everything happening so fast and all together and everything has to kind of stay on target, we wanted you guys to know, these are our plans, they're in place. And then hopefully, as soon as everything is done, we can come to you and say that we've completed all this work. We want people coming in the door, you know, early December.
I think that's ambitious to get a septic system done by early September, or December, I mean,
December.
but,
The will and the wallet is there.
Yeah.
So,
there you go.
So
yeah, I mean,
approving a temporary just for the apartments
Well,
now? Is
not-
that what the
not-
ask is?
well, yeah, what,
For the
what are you
apartment?
asking for tonight? Just, are you asking for a temporary for the apartments, or you?
Are you looking for the
I mean, I'll take
apartments?
what I can get.
Okay.
I suppose we would like to get the apartments up and running, right? Because they're on a separate system. So we could get those people in there right away. I don't even think they're arriving until December anyway, but it'd be nice to get that out of the way. And then to have the plan in place that we'll have a permit by December. Doable?
A permit
Well-
doesn't translate into construction though.
The apartment has no construction necessary.
No, I'm talking, you,
It's just the motel
motel,
side
right.
where there will be a kitchen under construction to serve the 14 motel style rooms.
Right, but the
septic still is.
the septic's the issue, and on the motel units, you can't get an occupancy permit till it's done.
Are they on two separate systems?
They're on two separate systems.
Right, but I mean, so the
Apartment's
apartments,
good.
the apartment's good,
The apartments are fine.
apartment's fine,
Okay.
but the motel units, they can't move into the motel units until they get a certificate of occupancy from the town or whatever we call it now. It's certificate of compliance. Unless, like I say, unless the septic system, if they can come up with a number, the engineers can come up with a number that is doable for this season, you might just go that route and then do the complete build out in the spring, but that's all up to, you guys. I don't, time-wise, I think you're pushing it for time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so it sounds like the engineers, you guys have already started working out what the max would occupy. I mean, I'd be curious anyway, and you should probably be the same, just to understand what the end game might be for you for the season. I mean, if it's 10, then you might be limited to 10. But I think you need to know that just as much as we do.
Yeah, I mean, we've been fast tracking this design to try to get it, in hopes that we can get it in the ground.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the existing system for the moment. I can appreciate you guys are moving on a fast track to kind of get a new one in, but I'm curious to know what's the capacity today with the deficiencies
Right,
in place?
Exactly. So if we can come up with a value for
Right.
the November 6th meeting, there is a chance that you could grant approval for some number of units located within that motel area outside of the apartment portion.
It's mine.
Okay.
As long as they have kitchen facilities.
Yeah, well, as long as they have the
Yeah, well,
kitchen.
you're gonna do the counts on everything.
Yeah, of course, yes, yeah.
I have a question for Abby.
Well, we wanna,
Yeah, in a memo that you sent to Peter.
Yep.
Outlining various aspects of this, one of which is requiring 38 parking spaces. And that's a discrepancy with later on with your actual full report that it's 20,
It is.
what is it, 20 and
I
a
made
half?
this calculation, because of, I'm sorry, 20 and a half spaces, section 16, one space per residential unit for one bedroom apartments, 1.5 for 2 bedroom, 2 spaces for general residential use. So 20.5 spaces are required and 36 are.
Right. I just wondered how you got to the 38 parking spaces that you said you required.
If you look on your memo, Wednesday,
Memo to-
September
September
18th.
18th to
Oh.
Peter.
line item number 4. Eric, if you want to, I'll just say what we're talking about right here. It's,
Can I interject? There's a very small number of our residents that actually do drive vehicles.
well, I'm just going by what
So-
was in her memo.
I'm sorry,
that's all.
there's a more intense cover letter there that has the actual calculation.
Okay. Well, I saw that later
oh,
on.
okay,
I
yeah,
just wondered how
yeah.
you got to 38.
Yep, that was, when we first submitted the site plan, I think there was a different calculation in the, for residential units that I was using, so
Oh,
that's,
okay.
that's, yeah.
Oh.
but I do understand what the comment is here is that for the winter residents, parking really is probably non-existent.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, but obviously now we're talking about the off-season.
Right.
Yeah.
But the amount that she has currently has served her purposes. I've never seen that park overrun with cars.
Well, you have 36 spaces.
Well, if you go,
Right.
and I guess Ray's question is if the plan reflects 36 spaces, but 38 are required,
38 are not required. in this-
well, that's for residential. They're not required. But if it's a motel, are 38 required?
I think it's even less for a motel.
I thought you said 25. I thought I heard a number of 20 something.
20.5
Oh, 20.5.
are required for the residential use.
There you go.
And they're-
Residential, but if it goes back to
Commercial.
commercial for the summertime,
Got it.
I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because-
Explain to me why we would need more parking than is currently available for the rest of that.
I'm just going by what was in, I'm just going by what was in the memo.
Okay, I'm just wondering if like it'll change when this changes hands, do we can't go by what Jamie was using, we're gonna have to go by this new increased number? If we want to function as a hotel, is that what you're saying?
If that's what the new ordinance says, yes. So what is it, is parking different, Peter, for? Should be the same. Should be the same. So 38 is not the number, it's, even if it's a hotel, it's 20.5.
20.5.
Okay,
But again, for the winter portion, it's not even, it's a
that's not an
non-issue.
issue.
No,
And we provide them public
Right.
transportation,
Well, that's
Right.
right.
it's really not a
I'm
need.
sure you'll have plenty of parking there.
Yeah, they can use the Econo Lodge. It was really.
And again, the only reason I brought up the park is because in this one memo, it did say 38, they only have 35, they need 38.
Oh,
I think Eamon did try to squeeze in 2 more at one point.
That's-
I mean, I think that there is additional parking area if you wanted to for that.
Well, if it's not
But
necessary.
if it's
we-
only 20.
It's not necessary.
It's not necessary, don't do
Look
it.
for anything.
Right, right.
I'd rather have the green space in the parking.
Right.
please.
It was more,
I got a tree.
it was just more of a question.
Oh,
How did you come up with 38?
An interesting part in your ordinance where if you have more bike spaces, you can get parking. So it's all bikes.
Somebody's reading it, somebody's reading it. We're working on that, believe me.
So again, I just go back to, so are we looking for a temporary approval just for the apartment then? Is that what the
I
ask
think we
is?
should wait until the next meeting. I mean, because nobody's coming till December.
No, so if you want to wait till November 6th.
We'll
Okay.
wait, but I think it's the board's consensus that at least the apartment at this point in time is really not an issue. But the rest of it, depending on, you know, how the sewer works out, could be.
Yeah, you could see more of the plan for the kitchen once we're 3 weeks along. I think that would be
You know,
helpful. Yeah.
and if you can get the town to get your water in and.
As soon as I buy.
That'd be
as soon as it's in
good.
our hands, yes, we will call Herman.
So to make a motion, is there any questions in the audience before we make a motion recess or whatever? Go. Okay,
The motion recess.
till November
November sixth.
6th.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You got your work cut out for you.
And you will still come up with the max count though.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep, we'll make sure that that is
I
available.
can appreciate Abby being optimistic, but you know what? I want to be realistic.
Abby, I'm Ally.
I'm sorry.
Let's get that straight.
Okay. Next up,
Oh, thank you. I was sitting on it.
next up, Manchester Riverwalk, 0 Depot Street. Applicant wishes to construct a pedestrian bridge from Factory Point Town Green to Old Main Street behind Mystic Restaurant. We'll be testifying tonight.
Nobody.
Nobody wants
Don't
to
everybody
talk.
raise your hand at once here.
So I'll sort of tell the truth, nothing but the truth? Thanks.
Well, do you want to make it?
I would like to disclose that I was on the board for many years, so, but I haven't been for, what, a year and a half? So I don't know if anybody feels that I would be impartial in
I
my,
don't
I don't
have
have
a
a.
problem with it.
We're good.
Anybody in the audience have a problem with it? Okay,
okay?
stay up here. Are you missing someone?
Steve was gonna say we're supposed to be, zooming in.
You have his email, we can send him a link.
I just pulled the site plan.
He's on Texas time, that could be a problem.
I guess you don't know. We share.
We want,
No, we're good. We're fixing.
On the application, so he's got an email address, you want to send him an invite?
Yeah, it's on the application if you can read it.
Yeah,
What's- East Railroad.
So was that I don't know if you were here, Pete, we had a preliminary on this or what was the? Cause we've seen,
Well,
we
we-
looked at this before.
when we
Oh,
left here,
the applicant, info at Manchester Riverwalk.
is it Stephen's email address?
Info what?
SD Druns, no, S Druns at NERR.
Yeah. Send, yeah.
Wait,
It's Drunzik.
Oh,
I'm gonna yell at you until you get this right.
thank you. Two S.
Yeah,
At
the last one we
Nerd.
left off was just needed to submit the final drawings,
It's
which
actually,
they have.
right, and we did a site visit.
We did a site.
all right, makes sense.
We have two
For this?
in the site. visit or
Yeah.
something? I think something.
Oh,
A while ago.
Oh, yeah, I had to do it.
Yeah, it's
2 or 3 weeks? No, months,
2, 3
months
months ago.
or months.
Where was I?
You there?
Nobody included me?
No, you got a special invitation.
No, we went down on site. I think Jeff.
Jeff met us there?
Jeff met us there.
Oh, yeah. That was a long time
Well,
ago.
like maybe a year, months, like a year.
Yeah, that was a long time.
Yeah, but it hasn't changed.
Yeah.
So we left off where they were just gonna submit final.
I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, Bill?
Bill?
I sent him.
Invite
out.
Yes, yes.
I mean,
Shows up.
You know. Okay, we're at the point where, just to bring you up to date, Riverwalk has raised enough money to move this project forward, okay? So, you've been submitted final plans, which, we can review if you'd like, one by one. But the, key thing is we want to start construction, late this fall to do concrete work and get the piers in so that we're ready to accept the bridge, hopefully, mid-spring, and then complete the work around the bridge in late spring, so we're out of the park by Memorial Day. And so we're on a pretty tight timeline this fall. We've worked out with the town. Sure. Yeah, I made that, so I
You did a good job.
We have worked out with the town to close off a certain part of the park from the end of this month or the first week of November. And I think, Peter, you were sent a map today?
Yes,
Okay.
Mr. Keener sent us final plan.
And that would be fenced off until give or take the week before Memorial Day. It doesn't fence off the whole park, but it fences out what I would call the east half out to the street. The access now, I don't know if you can put that on the screen at all, Peter?
I'm sorry,
Can you put that map on the screen?
Steven's in the waiting room.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
It's going to come directly off of Route 30. As you go by the park right now, there's a gap in the middle. The garden club has removed some vegetation. We'd have an access road for during construction into the east end of the park, I would call it, the east half.
I'm sorry, excuse me. Those are in the handouts, I think.
Yes. Did you make them?
They were not able to be put on. Did you put those on?
Oh, let me have that, please.
But yeah, that one.
So if you look on the map,
Okay, sorry.
Which map am I looking at? Where are we at?
right here.
Which map are we looking at, Peter?
Stephen, you're late.
Sorry about that.
Oh, is it?
Trouble getting on.
Yeah.
The,
Come on.
Handouts.
You're in Austin, Texas. Hopefully you're up to date.
That wasn't, right.
Hey, Bill, what's the number? What's the number on the C 101 or 02 or?
Not in that series.
Not in that series. There's another handout then.
It's another one.
Oh, wait.
I can look up,
So we
if
can
that's
look
it,
off-
we can look up there.
Off of the screen.
There it is.
Yep,
That's
yep.
good. So that yellow area is the area of the park that would be fenced off from approximately the first week of November until before Memorial Day, if we can stick to the schedule. Okay,
Now, does that affect I guess, two quick questions. One, is that Act 250? Is this fall under Act 252?
pardon?
Does this fall under Act 250 as
I haven't
well?
heard that. What are you talking
No,
Oh, I don't know. I'm just.
No, it doesn't.
not at all.
Okay, I didn't know because of the river, okay. And the
about?
park,
It has no direct impact on the river. We've been clear about
Okay.
that.
Mhm.
and the part of the park that's getting shut off, it's the town park, the town owns the park, correct?
Pardon?
The town owns the park, correct?
That is correct.
And is the town, they're fine with it? Yeah, I think
Yeah,
Scott's
reviewed it
on it.
with-
Scott's on it. Scott's,
Mike
That's fine.
online.
Oh, okay.
We've reviewed it.
What-
All the necessary
Wendy's, I
town employees have been there and they are quite satisfied with our proposal.
Okay, right, I was just wondering if it was gonna impact anything, I don't know if they plow the sidewalks in the park or do anything in the park?
Yes, it will. And we will replace them.
Okay. But,
That's all part of the plans.
okay,
Because the bridge itself, coming off particularly the Sen has a long handicap ramp. And then if you look at the plan, then it comes down and we have to create another ramp over to the existing sidewalk. Part of the existing sidewalk might be damaged. We're gonna cover them, hopefully salvage them. I'm not have to replace them, but with gravel. Because they're not directly in the direct construction area, But with, we have to have some pretty heavy duty equipment in there. It's a possibility they'll get damaged. If they do, they'll be replaced. But essentially, we want to put the foundations in month of December. Because we can get good pricing from our subcontractors at that time. If we don't do it then, we're probably pushing this whole project off for a year.
So I'm sorry, that whole yellow, is that all fenced off?
Yes,
It is fenced.
because of access, we're not necessarily going to disturb all that. But we just want to keep people
Right.
away from the construction area.
exactly.
You know, we'll have curiosity seekers.
Right.
There'll be concrete trucks, not a lot, but it's probably gonna be 4 or 5 concrete trucks. The activity will be pretty much site work in November, concrete work in December, maybe into early January. And then we just shut everything off until springtime, until when the bridge is going to arrive. That's an indeterminate date at this point, because we are negotiating or about to sign the contract with the bridge supplier. So there's a lot of moving pieces here that we're trying to get together so we can get it done before next Memorial Day.
So you have enough funding to complete the entire?
Have the
project?
funding
Okay,
between state grant and money raised locally.
good.
We're tight by the engineer's estimate since Riverwalk is gonna act as their own contractor, hiring some people in town to manage it for them, we think we could save quite a bit of money. Breaking it down to phases and
Mhm.
doing direct contracting with the, concrete work. There's some pile driving on the Main Street side of the river, over there on the upper side, and a small abutment over there. That will be a separate contract. Then setting the bridge is another contractor, and then doing the landscaping and so on, cleanup work. And we'll be working with a local contractor on the site work and so on.
Now, is there a engineer that keeps an eye on all this stuff, what gets done, or how does that work?
You're looking at them.
Okay.
I thought,
But we do, the design engineer will also, people that design the plans, they're gonna
To make sure
provide
that
some oversight also.
islands don't fall in the
Yeah.
river or whatever.
And I assume that the bridge manufacturers are the ones that are putting everything in place, right?
Pardon? No,
No, they're not.
they're just supplying the bridge.
Okay. And
It's I think it's safe to say we're working with Miller,
okay.
Range River, you're well aware of them. They have the equipment, the knowledge and so on. They'll be doing the concrete work also. So pepper us with questions. Otherwise, I request that you turn our permit around quickly or whatever is required.
Well, I think at the site visit, the town's gonna maintain the bridge. Is that where we ended up? Or I don't remember where the,
I believe there's a 4-party agreement, hopefully that will complete with the town tomorrow between Riverwalk, CMS Inc., the town, and with the 4th party.
At PHC.
PHC, oh, that's right, because of the land on the other side. That designates everybody's responsibility. That's been worked out with the town and the parties involved.
I know there was discussion about possibly closing it off
Yes.
during the winter. Is
What I would-
that still on the table or no?
That would be up to the town.
That'll be up to the town.
Why would that be up to the town?
Because Riverwalk is going to turn at the completion of construction, then the town takes over the bridge.
Yeah, but if I'm not mistaken, Jeff said he didn't have the manpower to manage.
Then he
That's
can
up to-
So that makes.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
It's up to them.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there'll be a lot of community discussion about that, but that will be a town decision.
3.3 conditional use, I mean, the capacity of existing or planned community facilities, that really doesn't come into effect. Character of the area affected,
But enhance it.
you know. Traffic on the roads and highways, I don't think it's gonna increase any traffic.
Now it's gonna be all
lot of
pedestrian
pedestrians.
traffic. I'm sure.
And it's safe, I guess there was a question about, when you got across the bridge to the other side, on the back of your building there, is the road that goes through there, that's all safe.
It's going to be signed that people are to use the designated pathway, which is gonna be up the stairs and around, between Union's deck there and the, Yellow Bank Building. That's where that access is going.
That was their
And
lighting,
you'll have signs that direct people
Oh,
to
there'll be
this.
sign, there'll be a crosswalk across the
Lighting.
roadway.
Okay,
lighting, Bill,
Pardon?
lighting,
Lighting where?
and.
On the bridge,
signs?
yes,
Well, and also the stairs.
and the pathway, yeah.
And, the whole bridge will all be handicap accessible the whole way around
The
or no?
bridge itself will be, but it's not gonna be handicapped accessible
Main Street.
directly up to Main Street. You'll be handicapped will go over the bridge, and we'll have to turn around and come back.
So there's no way to get up to the sidewalk from,
Main Street?
Yeah.
No, there isn't any way.
You can go up through that little road, right?
No, it's not public.
But that's
You,
not-
you could, but the grade doesn't qualify as a handicap accessible grade, getting out on
Anyway,
either
you
side.
gotta grade in and you gotta grade out of that road, even if that,
right?
somebody decides to use it.
Other provisions or ordinances, regulations, bylaws, doesn't, renewable energy resources, that doesn't come into play. I mean, yes,
Could you discuss a little, you've got the impacts to the park very well fleshed out. On the Main Street side, can you discuss a little about what's going on in terms of the construction and the mitigation access for the residents and the proprietors of businesses there? Because it looks like
Yes, the roadway will be shut off for a couple of periods of time. There'll be a week in December.
1 week.
What road?
Yeah,
what road were we talking about?
Right here.
Oh, okay.
That's a road.
That's in the back?
Yeah, it's in the back,
right,
but that's where the people who live here are here.
right.
And run
We
the.
come in through there.
Yep.
We will probably have to have, allow, let's say, two-way traffic coming down the hill to park behind the building for the residents of the building.
So coming from the Thai Basil entrance.
Right. Right.
One
The
week.
pile driving is gonna take a week, maybe to, I'll say to be safe, it'll take 2 weeks. And that's when we're gonna have the greatest disturbance to the road. And then we're gonna have another 1 week period in late December when they pour the foundation on that side. Because we'll have to excavate again to get the footing in and then build the wall. And that will probably be another 2 week period where that road will be, use of that road will be interrupted.
So Bill, when they're,
As a through road, access behind the building will not be affected.
and so the work that's going to be done to excavate and pile drive and pour concrete, if that's gonna shore up that side of the sort of.
The road to some
bank.
degree, yes.
Okay.
And that's directly behind the yellow building.
Right, right, where the bank is.
Right.
Berkshire.
And since this is all supposed to come up in an association meeting, okay? Because that's
Which we have.
a private issue with them, but there will be a week where the parking lot behind the building will not be accessible. When they're pile driving because of, when they say we're putting, it's not pile driving, we're putting in micro piles, and it's a drilling process. In the whole drilling process, they have to collect the slurry accretes, and so we have to park a dumpster behind the bank for that to happen. But that, they guarantee me, is a 1 week process. They'll get those micro piles in and out in a week.
So there'll be no access to the back of the building, you're saying?
week.
For a week.
Right.
And for the full-time residents, probably some disruption with the
I'm sorry.
for the full-time residents, obviously some disruption with the pile drive.
That week,
With
yes.
the with the drilling, with the construction apparatus and, you know.
Well, during the day, yeah, there's gonna be activity during the day, and some traffic. It's gonna involve 4 or 5 employees and a couple of pieces of equipment. Yeah, there can be a little hubbub for a day, for a week.
And it's in December.
That's the anticipation time right now, yes. If I
So
sign,
the-
if I sign all the paperwork.
So who usually parks out there at night?
Pardon?
So there are 4 residences,
In the bank building. Old bank building.
right here, there are 4 residences, 3 of which have exterior windows to that, and decks to that area. And then there are, Mystic, Union, and Spring and Harbor.
Now, wait a minute, you don't directly look on the project. The building, bank building does not directly look on the project.
Okay.
Well, I'm just wondering about,
That's my deck.
well,
So,
I guess the question is, Bill, if where the people will park if they can't park out there? And they,
Municipal.
Well, that's what we're gonna discuss at our
Municipal.
association meeting.
right,
We can provide it at Charlie's, or we can arrange with
yeah, the municipal's closer, so.
the town, even though there's no parking.
the only reason I was thinking, I just didn't know, the municipal lots, I thought, in the wintertime, there was no overnight parking, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Or is there? Correct.
There's
Limited to no overnight.
Charlie's will provide parking
Okay.
overnight.
I just want to, because I thought that municipal parking lots closed. Correct. No overnight parking. And then if we get snow, you never know, and if you get a week of snow in December, nobody can get,
And we are gonna be somewhat.
Hopefully we get some
We'll know about it.
you know.
Again, if we don't do it then we're
You know,
pushing the whole thing off a year.
and I mean, the only other question would be, and I don't know if it gets closed off, if, does the fire department, is that a fire lane back there or no?
It's
Okay.
too narrow for them to get through there now. And
Okay.
too low, yeah.
So they can't get a truck behind any of those buildings anyways?
I think it's a bumper, the little one, the.
Well, no, I was just, right, I was just, want to make sure we're not,
Well, there's no hookup back there anyway.
No,
Right.
they would have to back down, if they tried to get anything in there, and they could, the pumper, but you can't come in on the
No.
real estate side.
well, no, because you can't get under the bridge.
Yeah.
Can't go here, they have to come there. And that, the
Well,
trash trucks
and
come out from that direction
Get
too.
back, so-
Because the trash trucks
Yeah.
can get down in there.
They back in.
Yeah.
So.
Bill, something to think about. One of the couples that lives in those condos is elderly and handicapped.
Yeah.
So back to the parking.
We will provide accommodations if necessary, if we have to hire shuttle service or whatever it takes.
Okay.
Okay,
Just something to think about.
that's was gonna be discussed at our
Yeah.
association meeting.
Right.
That we might have one of these days, I think.
I know. I'm not sure. We were hoping this week, but. Thank you for answering
Okay.
my question.
Any more questions or?
No, I don't
We'll
think
make
so.
motion to close or?
Well, as far as.
Again, for the short period of time, we will arrange
Any questions?
necessary accommodations for the
Yeah.
residents, Bill, okay?
So clearing snow path going to the bridge, is it the town?
That's the town,
That's the town through the whole
Not us,
system
yep.
there, right? Okay.
but let me say, it's gonna be part of the sidewalk system,
Right,
right, up to the bridge and
right,
potentially on the bridge.
right.
The bridge is gonna have a nice 8 foot wide, nice deck. It's, the maintenance wants to be kept open is gonna be relatively easy.
Mhm.
You can take a snow blower and blow stuff right through the bridge, any snow, if you want to keep it open. But that's not my
Or it's
fault.
closed down for
It's
the
not
winter.
my fault.
Right. Okay. That's it.
You got a motion?
I'll make a motion to close.
Second, it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Got all your questions answered now?
Yes,
I
sir.
think so.
Okay.
Good luck. We should try to get a set of findings out relatively soon.
Tell VHB you're not at 101 Walnut Street.
I think it can we get,
All these site plans.
uh,
I mean, so there those questions.
no issues. I'd like to make an assumption that we're gonna walk away through here, that you guys, everybody on this board is gonna be okay, because we gotta get to work and finalize the agreement tomorrow, and then hail the.
I mean, we should get that out
Well,
within.
Want to do it
Or
here?
can we speak to Bill? I
Do
mean,
the best I can to get it out.
well, can we give you a verbal later on, tonight? And then you can communicate with Bill directly tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So how about that?
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That would be most helpful. I just. I think I communicated.
Right, we get it.
Timeframe we're working in is tight.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
It's getting tighter every day.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
And my papers back.
Oh,
That's my piles in my office.
Just have quite a collection.
Oh, do we have a,
Come.
As big as yours.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Good job.
Go back to your tennis.
do we have a set of findings I need to sign to, we think?
Yeah, I'll grab those.
Get him 7 minutes.
He has the minutes right there, son, right?
The minutes are in here. You got everybody 30 feet.
There you go.
Thank you. I will,
See you.
I will come back with finding.
Excuse me.
To dig back into the minutes of this past hearing. The Pedro had to do that, what we actually talked about. And we talked about the whole flooring.
There was a lot of things.
Lewis Bank.
Well, At the end of the
I
day,
haven't seen an application.
I think the biggest thing was the maintenance. Discount. Was Jefferson, not the manpower.
Over by.
He said, directly.
Exactly. So I mean, I mean, if it's the town's decision, then that's fine. You know?
Yeah, so they can make the call.
Exactly. And nobody's squabbling.
And I would say close it
I
for the
would-
winter.
I would.
Oh,
Out there. It's not there.
Not risk anything.
Exactly.
He's got.
For the minimal amount of usage that.
Single
family
family.
wins out there.
Are those
Yeah.
Ramsey?
It's not worth, it's not worth the
No.
manpower.
No, absolutely.
Nicely put together.
Ramsey Board of Homes. Big colonials, they're nuts.
Do we have more, I don't think we have any more business.
Well, why don't we discuss Bill's thing so we can get that done and
You
over?
want to go on the record? You want to have it recorded or?
Let's go to deliberative.
Deliberative session.
Deliberative?
So end the meeting?
Want to end the
End the
meeting?
meeting. I make a motion to end the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Recording stopped.